Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. If you are new here, my name is Rosie. I graduated from the University of Oxford last year with a degree in Archaeology and Anthropology. I have written
a lot of essays.
I worked out that it is something like 180,000 words in just essays, as opposed to like also my dissertation, which blows my mind. Ugh. Today's video is incredibly requested. I am going to be comparing my worst and my best Oxford essay, and let me tell you, there is a massive difference.
Astronomical!
Considering these essays are just over a year apart,
hell no!
I'm going to be going through them side by side. So I'll compare the introductions, then I'll compare the main body, then I'll compare the conclusion. And hopefully you'll get to see what makes a good essay out of this and what things you really need to watch out for and not do in an essay. Believe me, when I read this back, I was embarrassed. This was in my first term of uni, so this is one of my first Oxford essays. Not the first, but one of the first. And I think I'm going to do a whole separate video on comparing my first and last essay. So give me a thumbs up if that would be something you're interested in. Plus also give me a thumbs up and a comment if you would like me to rewrite my worst essay but making it like my best. So I would be rewriting a whole essay for no reason, but you know, why not? What else am I doing?
I became a highwayman, was daylight robbery.
So first things first, essay titles. On the worst side we have what are ethnographic museums for, and on the best side we have discuss the rise and spread of Buddhism on the Silk Road with reference to art, architecture and archaeology. Just to point out, at Oxford we don't really get marked for every essay, so we get like a comment, and in archaeology anyway, it is unlikely that you're actually going to get a number written on your essay. We had a different tutor for my Buddhism essay and they did put a mark on, and I got 74, so I got a strong first on this essay. In the other one, my comment was good attempt.
Thanks.
So, introductions. What you're looking for in a good introduction is a concise summation of your argument, introducing the key text, the key thinkers that you're going to talk about, and, you know, setting out your one key overruling argument in, I would say, 250 to 300 words. Absolute maximum 300, but 250 is a much better target. You can use subtitles, and I'll show how I did use subtitles in my Buddhism essay, but we're going to start with the worst essay. My introduction here was 295 words without a break. So if you're going to do a 300-word introduction, I would probably suggest doing it in two separate smaller paragraphs, because 295 words does just look like a big thick block of text. Some key issues with this introduction is that there is no actual definition of an ethnographic museum. This needs to be the first thing you do. Your definitions have to come before anything else, otherwise people don't really know what you're talking about. In order to answer your question, you first have to explain what everything in the question means. It could have multiple meanings, but you still need to do that first, and I have not done that here. I've also used an incorrect citation. So if you look at where I've said Henrietta Lidshey gives an explanation of the use of museums, cited Wenger 1993. What I hadn't realised yet at this point is that you don't cite the overall book. What you have to do is find that actual reference. If someone else has quoted someone, you find who wrote the quote. You don't write down this person quoted this person. It just takes your essay down a complete other level. Plus, if you use the extra person, that gives you an extra reference. So in my opinion, the first 100 words of this paragraph should have been a separate paragraph, and it shouldn't have come first. I should have started instead with definitions of an ethnographic museum, and should have started and said here where I've said ethnography is the study of nations of people with their customs, habits and points of difference. That is a definition. It's not a definition of ethnographic museum, but it is a start. That's what needs to have gone first. The first 90 words up to share this purpose should not have gone at the beginning. They might have been able to go afterwards, not completely in the exact same words, but not there anyway. Nowhere in this introduction have I also explicitly said which sources I'm going to be looking for and what my actual argument is. So I've said this essay will aim to explain the purpose of ethnographic museums, with some possible ones being to house the products of anthropological research, to educate the wider public about foreign society, and also promote colonial ideology. This sentence is too long. It also doesn't really add a lot. What I should have done instead is chosen one key piece of argument and then said I will also discuss such and such. Ideally, I would say the person who links to each of these things. So if I was saying, for example, in this essay I will discuss Joe Bloggs' theory of such and such, Dada's theory of such and such, and I will also touch upon Jessica's theory of such and such, in a way to introduce the structure and how you're actually going to link these people together. I just haven't really achieved anything with this introduction. It is incoherent, it's too long, it wasn't planned, and you can tell that I just did not plan this and just went straight into it because it's a load of rubbish. Now, switching to my best essay, this is a long introduction. It is altogether 513 words, so you might be thinking, but Rosie, you just told us not to do an introduction over 300 words. You're correct, I did. However, a way to get around that is to make your introduction an introductory section, not an introduction. So this introductory section, as you can see, is 4 paragraphs long, and that is because the question has so much in it. The question is dense in itself and needs more of an explanation than the previous question did. What I've done in the first paragraph is the chronological context. So I've explained the setting, I've explained like Buddhism in the area, which is really key to the question. In the second paragraph, I've done the definitions and the arguments about the definitions. So I've defined the Silk Road, which is a really key part of this question, purely because the Silk Road as a definition is contested in itself. And I've explained that here too. In the next one, I've linked Buddhism and the Silk Road together, which again is a key part of the question because I'm discussing the spread of Buddhism on the Silk Road. And finally, in this little paragraph, I've set out the whole structure of my essay, exactly what I'm going to cover in the order that I'm going to cover it. And that is really key because it means that the audience, the readers, now know exactly what to expect, in what order. They know my main argument and they're just going to be looking at what I use to back it up with. Now, if you have an essay that is worded much more densely than you would like to just attack in a singular paragraph for your introduction, just make it into a subheading, because that way people still know you're on your introductory section, but it can be split, and it does mean that your sentence structure and your overall flow is much better and much more complex. It also can then help you to set out and think about the rest of your essay that you're writing. Now, key difference between these essays is the length. This one is 2,815 words. It was meant to be 2,500. I've gone over and I shouldn't have, but we didn't get deducted for the word count being wrong. On the other one, I've only written 1,840, and in this essay it was a 2,000 word limit. If you have got a longer essay to write, then I really would recommend doing the introductory section with the subtitles. If you've got a shorter essay to write, then perhaps don't, but try your best to follow the key points that I've mentioned. And if you would like a more in-depth discussion of how to write an introduction, then I have a video on the StudyTube project which explains planning and starting writing an essay, and also a continuation of that, which is like a second half of writing an essay, and I'll link them both in the pinned comment because they should really help back up what I'm saying right now. Hey dudes, I don't know why I just said that, but we'll roll with it. Hi. So I've actually decided to split this video into 2 because I couldn't get it much shorter than 50 minutes, and I don't know about you, but I am not going to be sitting through 50 minutes of someone talking about an essay. So I decided after the introduction bit would be a good way to split it so it's kind of naturally ending. And on Friday, I will give you the rest of the video where I talk about the main body and the conclusion. Yeah, the intro was just, there was a lot in it because there was so much wrong with that other introduction, and I hope that's okay. I'll see you on Wednesday for part 2 of the Oxford Traditions video and Friday for part 2 of this video. Woo! Thank you for watching. Please do give me a thumbs up if you enjoyed, and if you want me to rewrite an essay, why am I offering to rewrite an essay? That's stupid! But if you'd like to see it, then I'll do it, so... Yeah, I'm gonna go now. Bye, love you lots!